Inside the Man Cave with Johnny Compian.
Oh, yeah. Hey, put your finger in my fun hole.
It's beautiful.
Graphic language will be used throughout this show.
Inside the ManCave podcast show with Johnny Compian. Follow me on Twitter at Johnny Compian. Welcome back to another installment, or so-called installment, of Inside the ManCave podcast show. I started off with a little Motley Crue. I know I'm going to get hit by YouTube for copyright. I don't own the rights to that music. Whatever you got to do to just try to get your point across with these topics and stuff that you want to talk about. And I love using music coming into a podcast because to me it just sets the tone. So yeah, I started off with Motley Crue, and I've done a couple other little snippets that I have on the YouTube channel that you can check out at Johnny Compian, Inside the Man Cave podcast show. Excuse me. But I talked about Motley Crue, the stadium tour, which is Def Leppard, Motley Crue, Poison, and Joan Jett. And so far I've been following it. All the shows all the cities they've been hitting, Philly, what else? St. Louis. There's been so many shows so far. So Tommy Lee, I had brought that topic up about Tommy Lee not being able to, play a full show. Well, that's changed. And he is back. That's the rumor right now. I don't know for a fact if he's playing because I haven't seen a show yet. They haven't hit my region yet. But it's coming in August. And this is what I hope for, that Motley Crue will headline that night here in San Antonio or the Vegas show. Either way, I'm cool with it. But I'd love for Motley to headline the night I go get to see them. But the reason I came in with some Motley Crue on with the show is because this video clip was from the Carnival of Sins tour. And that's when Vince went through a bunch of different things, was in, I think he did like a weight loss thing on a reality show, which was comical. But he lost weight and did his thing, and I think he did like a facelift. But he came back and did this tour. I remember seeing this tour. I went with a bunch of people from that I used to work with in San Antonio. So we had some box seats that were pretty good. They were free. And I remember that night they came out and they sounded good and tight, loud. It was really good. Then they came out with the DVD for this, and it was really good to watch. So it's like, wow, they sounded great. The production of that release, that DVD was great. So if you get a chance, just check it out. It's pretty good. Compared to now, now they seem a little slower for some reason. I don't know. The videos that I've seen on YouTube, I don't know if they're giving it justice or not, but being there live is the best way for me to kind of judge a show like this, right? So first it was Tommy starting off this tour that he broke four ribs 14 days prior to the start of the stadium tour. And he came out and put that out there talking about that. And so that was the kind of the storyline beginning of the tour, which, of course, you got Motley Crue, Poison, Def Leppard, Joan Jett. You have all these bands, so there's going to be somebody in the spotlight that something happens, First up was Tommy Lee, which he had the 4 broken ribs. And he came out. He only did a few songs to start off the tour, and all of a sudden I'm hearing that he's playing full shows now, which is cool. I saw Vince taking a picture with Tommy Khalifos, who was sat in for Tommy Lee. And so I think he was kind of like thanking. I think Vince was thanking him. Hey, appreciate this guy for stepping in and helping us out, which was cool. I think he fit right in the pocket. I don't remember seeing a lot of the whole show when he was on, but it didn't sound right. I mean, of course, when you have the full band in effect, you when you've seen Motley Crue plenty of times, how they sound with Tommy Lee at the helm. So I'm sure it was kind of interesting having a backup, which is cool either way, right? You're there. I mean, what else can you do? They just throw it on you. And next up, we're already a couple weeks into this stadium tour, and Vince Neil is snagged. So somebody takes a picture, because nowadays, that's what happens now, right? You go to a show and everybody has their phone out, which I hate, but it's not up to me. If it was up to me, this is like the Danzig. Danzig, they say no phones allowed, and they mean no phones. I'm with it, man. Let's just go watch a show, have some beers, conversate a little bit, and watch the music and the show, right? Well, I seen live in person when Danzig played the Aztec, and they had mentioned, they had put flyers out, before you went into the venue, no phones allowed, or you can't bring your phone out during the show. Well, I was right in the front area when Danzig came out, and everybody seemed cool, right? All of a sudden, this guy in the center of stage, he, proceeds to take out his phone and start snapping pictures of Glenn Danzig. And all of a sudden, I look to my left, and I see out of this stage left, coming out is this huge bodyguard. He's Glenn Danzig's personal bodyguard. Comes out, this dude must have been over 7 feet. He looked like he was over 7 feet tall. I don't know. I was feeling pretty good, man. So I really couldn't be accurate on how tall the guy, but he just looked massive. Well, he jumps from the stage into the crowd and just slaps this guy's phone down he just goes up there and just boom, slaps the phone out of his hand, turns around and proceeds to get back on the stage and goes back. And everybody's kind of like, whoa. Yeah. Well, the reason I'm bringing that up is because, everybody has a phone, and people are going to catch things. And the media, if they get a load of that, which they do, because on Twitter, you can tweet at real time, and that will get around. If somebody sees something interesting, it's going to go viral pretty quick. It'll be trending. Next thing you know, the news, local with the TMZs, will pick it up, and they'll run with it, and they'll buy the picture and put it out there and make it a thing. Well, that's what happened to Vince Neil. You read, scrolling down social media, somebody was saying that they took a picture of Vince, with the teleprompter in front of him, and they were kind of bashing him for it and just kind of going after him. How could he not remember his lyrics and blah 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 blah, and some musicians came out. The singer from Disturbed came out and defended Vince Neil and said, "Hey, look, this is what happens when you have a huge catalog of music. You have to have that, and you see it. You've seen the Stones have it. I think Metallica sometimes uses those. I've seen them at plenty of shows. There's plenty of bands that use those if they can afford them. If they're massive and they come out and they have these huge teleprompters right by the monitors in front of them. Just because if there's, it's kind of like karaoke, I guess. I don't mind it. It doesn't affect me. The band's going to come out and perform and do things the way they want to do it. and I'm cool with it. I got nothing to say. And the singer from Disturbed kind of went after these fans and these TMZs and was kind of bashing them. Say, hey, if you believe this, you know, blah, 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 blah. You're just trying to find a storyline. And he's absolutely right. That's the way it works. But, you know, Motley Crue does have a massive collection of music that they bring out, but they already have a set list. I'm all for it. Like I said, I don't care if Vince has a teleprompter in front of him and that's the way he's doing the show. I don't, that's not going to make me flip out if he doesn't remember the lyrics. He's not, I mean, I could barely remember certain things. I got to just kind of look and have my notes on my phone or something, right? You got to have your notes sometimes to read and you know, I don't know. I don't think it's a big deal. And it was trending, and it's funny how these things work. So I can't wait to see them live. It's Motley Crue. They're older. And I've seen some stuff on TikTok where there was a female fan, and she looked like she was an old school fan. And she was going after Vince. She was just railing on Vince, talking about that she saw the first or second show, and Vince was just horrible, and you shouldn't waste your money, and just all these horrible things. It's pretty messed up, but that's what we do on social media, right? You can do this, and it'll go viral if you make a good enough video. It doesn't have to be good. You just pull out your phone and start videotaping and do a recording. Just recording. Save it. You know, put it up on your Twitter page or your Instagram or your TikTok, and all of a sudden, boom, everybody's clicking on it, and you go viral. So it was interesting because Vince, when was it? A week ago, he put out ATX TV came out with a documentary on Vince. It was very interesting, and as a huge Motley Crue fan, you hear those stories, and there was a couple things that came out of that Vince Neil documentary that, you know, I was kind of like, whoa, okay, because back in those days, you read magazines, and there was no Twitter or no, instant news where you can get it and go with it. So, it was cool to kind of hear a couple things there, some nuggets as a Motley Crue fan and a Vince Neil fan, because, Vince is Motley Crue. And they talked about Karabi and how he found out and what happened, and they fired him, and just all these things. And there was a couple things that I heard out of Vince, kind of talking about, that he's still upset about his bandmates not being at his side in some big time events in Vincent's life. They kind of turned their back on them, and I can see that. But who knows how they operate on the inside, right? You see a lot of documentaries, like a Metallica, Some Kind of Monster. That was a great documentary on how they recorded Some Kind of Monster. They came up with the concept, recorded. They were kind of going into they needed a new bass player, and that's the way they kind of hooked up with Robert Trujillo, which has made that band. That band is fabulous with Trujillo on bass. He just I know there's a huge Jason Newsted fan base, but man, Trujillo he's special. He fits right in there, and I've seen Trujillo play with Suicidal, Seen him play with Ozzy. Who else? Because he's been around. Trujillo's been around, and I think he's found his band now. It was cool how that storyline came about, how Metallica brought him in. It was so cool. Such a cool documentary. But that's just what I'm talking about. How these bands operate and the stuff you don't see or hear about. It's just a couple of things that they kind of leak out and you hear, and they go big and viral. But all those things that came out with that documentary, they're very interesting topics. And then you know how things go on social media. You know, you hear things and sometimes they have that I call it that tumbleweed effect, where the story just picks up a little bit and it takes that tumbleweed and they just add to it, and it just makes it bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. I think that happened with this, and a lot of people didn't catch on, I don't think. But I'm going back to Tommy Lee and Vince Neil, where I have an article, and it's fake. To me, it's fake because I didn't see anything else on it, but it looked kind of legitimate. You know, if somebody was to grab it and, you know, like clickbait and say, oh, Vince, Tommy Lee get into a fight. You know, they get into a little scuffle. I think Tommy had punched Vince. Vince went at Tommy, and that's how Tommy broke his ribs or cracked his ribs. That was the story that I saw, and I'll put a snippet up there so you can check it out. It's totally fake. But who knows? You know, it made me think about it. I was thinking about, it's like, what if? I'm not going to run with it unless somebody else says, yeah, you know what, it happened. But they kind of keep them in camp. If those things happen during rehearsals, that might have happened. Who knows? But it would be very interesting to see if that really went down. Because Tommy Lee's wife came out, because she's on tour with them. And she came out on her IG and talked about how Tommy broke his ribs. And then it was crazy because the next day was when that I ran into that article. So I don't really care. That's none of my business. I'm talking about it because it's funny how people kind of, you know, take the bait, you know, and these guys are just kind of just laughing and saying, look at this shit. Or, you know, they're like, who fucking leaked it? Who knows? I don't really care. I really don't care. I'm not trying to make a thing out of it or, you know, go viral about it, because nobody really cares about that. People are really enjoying this tour, which is amazing. Yeah, we all miss being tied down and being locked down and not being able to go to shows for 2 years, right? And now you're able, and you're going to blow some fucking steam off. You got two years worth of stuff you just want to just let out. I mean, you're backed up. You just want to let it out. And that's what I want to do. I went to see an Archangel show. That wasn't enough. I didn't get it all out. I'm ready for something good to come up. And I think it's going to be this Motley Crue show. I saw the crowd in St. Louis, and they played an outdoor, I think it was at their baseball venue, which that would be so cool to have here in this city, which we don't have an MLB team in San Antonio. But that would be so great to have a venue like that downtown where you can throw in a concert like this, right? Have Motley Crue in the outdoors instead of that stinky ass, moldy ass, fucking Alamo Dome. Yeah, I said it. That shithole. I fucking hate it. Change it. Knock it down. Do something with it. Cut the top off of it. Why don't we all show up on a Sunday and everybody brings some tools and we'll shave the top off of the Alamo Dome. Maybe that'll make it a better thing. We can sit out here in this 103 degrees weather out and watching a concert during the day. Wouldn't that be cool? Why not? Cut a hole in the top. I think that would make it better for me. Because I hate that place. I'm not looking forward to going there to seeing Motley Crue. I'd rather be outside, getting some air. You know, getting thirsty so you can drink more beer. Enjoy yourself. Let out the 2 years worth of stuff you had that you haven't been able to get out because we've been quarantined. But that stuff's kind of behind us right now. And there's still people and news outlets that are talking about things getting bad again. But, you know, I don't want to get into that. We all know. So it's going to be very interesting to keep, you know, my eyes on this story. And another thing about this tour, Brent Michaels from Poison, he ended up getting sick. They missed a show. He had COVID. So they canceled a show. So I think they got more Joan Jett, which is cool. Why not, right? Jonah go out there and jam. But Poison, I've heard Poison's been sounding great. They're going to throw a show. And also Def Leppard, quietly, they are that band. They're like, you know what? Just go ahead and talk a game. Do whatever you're going to do. Bring your flamethrowers, whatever. We're going to go out there and just fucking rock. I think that's what I've seen, because I criticized them in one of my podcasts, you know, about this stadium tour. I was like, I don't want to get there. But I changed my mind. I think I'm ready to see this band again. They're great musicians. Joe Elliott he can hold his own. He's a professional. He's a veteran rocker. So, yeah, he's going to go out there and do his job. So, yeah, you're going to get something really good with Def Leppard. I wish they could have added somebody else. That would have been great to have like Faster Pussycat, Joan Jett, Poison, and then Motley Crue, Def Leppard. That would have been cool. Add somebody else, right? But, you know, it's decent. Who knows? I wonder after this is done, if Motley's going to go out and do some more stuff, or they're going to record. There's so many questions that linger around that band. Mick Mars, a lot of fans were concerned about Mick. They were concerned about Tommy with the broken ribs. That is solved for right now, I guess. He's doing his full shows. Vince, he dropped weight. He's been doing his gig, you know, every night, going out there and entertaining the fans and doing the hits, right? And Nicky's just Nicky. He just enjoys himself, is enjoying his family on the road. He has his daughter with him. There's some cool pictures that are on IG that have been coming out, and he has his daughter there on the side of the stage by him. And it's so cool. Nicky's really enjoying the tour right now in life. He just looks like he's at his best. I think he had got hip or shoulder surgery. So, yeah, he seems like he's back to himself. But who knows? These guys are a lot older. You can see it. There was a cool picture that Motley Crue had tweeted out, and they were on a little golf cart, and it was Tommy and Nicky in the back of it. And they looked like they had just gotten off stage, and they looked like they had just gave it everything they had. A very cool shot. That's what I appreciate. I appreciate seeing those kind of things online, on Twitter. You know, it's cool. It's like, you know what? You can criticize us all you want. Say what you want. Say what you will. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, this is what we do for a living. You know, people are paying. The stadiums are fucking packed. So people they're making money. I thought this tour was not going to do that well, and man, I've been proven wrong. So far, the crowds have been great. Just what I'm seeing online, it's really good to see. So, like I've said, I can't wait to get our turn to see Motley Crue in our city in Texas. It's going to be fun. I can't wait. I'm really going to enjoy it. And I hope you do too. If they come to your city, check them out. You know, I've enjoyed coming on and giving you an update on the Motley Crue stadium tour. So if you can, like, subscribe on my page, share it, tell your friends about it. You know, if you got any kind of topic you want me to talk about, or if you hear something that you want to debate me on, or anything, you know, any suggestions that would help me out, I appreciate it. You can tweet at me at Johnny Compian. I appreciate the support. Thanks, man. Take care.